paints a vivid picture of the transition from Babylon, the Lion Kingdom, to the Bear Kingdom. It's one of the most famous scenes of the Bible. It was October 539 BC. Apparently during the New Year's festival, Belshazzar had planned a great feast. The king had invited 1,000 of the leading men of his empire for the celebrations. Little did they realize what was going to happen. What made this great banquet so unusual was that it took place while the Persians were besieging Babylon. Yet Belshazzar's faith rested in the mighty walls of the city. That fatal overconfidence would be his undoing. It was during the banquet, in a great show of arrogance in the face of God, that Belshazzar ordered wine to be served. He then toasted the gods of Babylon. He did this with the very golden cups his grandfather Nebuchadnezzar had plundered from the temple in Jerusalem. Suddenly, a strange, terrifying event occurred, probably right here in the throne room of Belshazzar. A mysterious, disembodied hand appeared out of nowhere. It began to write great, blazing letters on the king's wall.
In the same hour, the fingers of a man's hand appeared and wrote opposite the lampstand on the plaster of the wall of the king's palace. And the king saw the part of the hand that wrote. Then the king's countenance changed, and his thoughts troubled him. Now all the king's wise men came, but they could not read the writing, or make known to the king its interpretation. Then Daniel was brought in before the king, and said, I will read the writing to the king, and make known to him the interpretation. And this is the inscription that was written, Mene, Mene, Tekel, Parsin. This is the interpretation of each word. Mene, God has numbered your kingdom and finished it. Tekel, you have been weighed in the balances and found wanting. Peres, your kingdom has been divided and given to the Medes and Persians.
Taken literally, the words Mene, Tekel, and Peres were the names of common Babylonian weights. Before coins were invented, business was conducted using metal ingots as currency. They had to be weighed in a balance against accurate measures, like this 2-mina lion weight, to test their worth. Daniel's interpretation of the writing on the wall played on the root meaning Mene, which means numbered, Tekel, which means weighed, and Parsin, divided. Babylon's time had run out. As the Bible tells the story, on that very night, while the ominous writing glowed upon the wall, the armies of Cyrus the Great were already entering the city. Babylon's mighty walls and massive fortifications could not prevent its downfall, a downfall decreed by God. The prophet Isaiah gives us some background to King Cyrus and his part in the fall of Babylon.